Hello everyone, welcome back to the Saboteur You channel. So in today's video, I am going to be rating my subscribers' locks. I got a lot of requests, so I won't be able to get to everyone in today's video, but don't you worry, I will be making another video getting to everybody I did not get to today. Let's get to it. So the first person that I'm going to review is Sean. Now I asked each one of you guys to tell me a little bit about your locks, so I didn't have to play the guessing game as I was looking at them. So he says, I got them last year in August by my barber. So his barber started his locks. You don't hear that super often. That's pretty cool. And he started them off as braids for a bit. And then he says, I'm not 100% why. So I can already tell you, Sean, that you have a finer texture when it comes to your hair. So that's more than likely why he started with braids. You know, using something like comb coils or even two-strand twists would not be sufficient. But braids can work, and I'm noticing that even though he used braids, he's still using rubber bands on the end. So that just goes to show how fine your hair is, and you know that you really needed something that would keep the hairs in place. Okay, and then you go on to say that when they started the locking process, they were really loose and fragile until eventually they got to, here, which we'll be getting to those. So you say you don't do much to maintain them. You use a crochet hook sometimes, but not as much as you used to, and you wash them every week. All right, so let's take a look at your locks now. We'll go up here. So you sent a video, and in the video you're just kind of going through your locks. So I can definitely tell that they're crochet hooked, just by like how neat they are. I mean, they're frizzy, but that's to be expected, right? They're locks, so they're gonna be frizzy, but you can tell like that hair is just almost like perfectly matted. It looks awesome. Something else that I'm noticing is just how thick your locks are, and I can also see the new growth in this clip, and it definitely shows how fine your hair is, which once again explains why he decided to use braids. Now going back to this first picture, something else that I wanted to mention is that while I don't necessarily see a specific type of parting, I feel like I see a mixture of parting types. I will say that one thing is that the parts are, for the most part, staggered, which is a great thing because that will lend for a more full look. It'll be a fuller look for sure, especially as your locks thicken up with time. And you can already tell when looking at this picture and comparing it to the one that we just saw, they're already so much thicker, right? And your locks are looking really full. But I like how your barber staggered them. So and I don't know if I said he, referring to your barber could be a she. So just wanted to point that out. He or she. All right, so yeah, your locks are looking great. Let's go to this picture. And with this one, it looks like, this is definitely after a little bit of time has passed. The left side, I'm noticing that the tips, for the most part, seem to be blunted. There's some hairs kind of hanging out, but I think for the most part, the tips are blunted there. But these, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the back, they don't look quite as blunted. But when we go off to the right side, they look more blunted. So I don't know if they blunted naturally or if you blunted them. I assume since you used to use a crochet hook quite a bit, you were probably the one who blunted them. But, I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But either way, they're looking really awesome. All right, here's another photo, and you can see the ones off to the right a little bit better. That like perfect blunting. And as is the case with someone with fine hair or someone with curly hair, you're gonna have frizz. So you can see the frizz on these locks. Please don't panic, guys. It's all part of the process. Locks are frizzy, they're fuzzy, and it's awesome. So yeah, it looks like, I don't know, these rear ones are not blunted, and it could be that you just couldn't get to them. But You know, they may blend up themselves over time, or you may do it yourself. Either way is fine. So the locks are looking great, bro. All right, here's another one where you're just showing me one lock, and you can definitely tell once again that it's that a crochet hook was used, because it's just really like perfectly matted. It's stiff, you know, see how like it's just standing straight up at attention, right? It's just awesome. So and you can see the frizz on it, but it's interesting when you're not looking at a close-up of these locks. You don't notice the frizz really. What you notice is like that perfectly formed lock, and what you notice is the perfectly blunted end, you know? So yeah, your locks are looking awesome. All right, and here's another one showing the roots. And this lock looks to be a little bit smaller there, which is fine. Just because the lock is smaller doesn't mean it's in any danger of breaking off, or, you know, or that it's damaged by any means. Locks come out different sizes sometimes. And it all just depends on the parting and also how dense the hair is within the parts. So yeah, it looks good. Something that I'm noticing though in this one is just how fine your hair is, which once again is why your barber chose to use braids versus like comb coils or interlocking or something like that. I mean, if it was Chris McDread, he could have probably crocheted from the beginning. But hey, the braids worked. Braids with the rubber band, it worked just fine. All right, so I really like this photo because the locks are just kind of going every which way. I don't know if this was after you freshly did some maintenance on them, because they're kind of stiff, but they just look really sweet. And remember how in the beginning I was saying how the parting made for a fuller look? Well, look how full these locks look now. Look how full the look is. Like, it's a very full look. You can barely see the scalp anywhere. And that was what I was referring to. So yeah, bro, these locks are dope. All right, and here's the last pick. So I see you got you some lock jewelry. The locks are doing great. By the way, these are high top locks, high top dreads. It's interesting that you don't really hear people say high top locks too often. You usually hear high top dreads, especially among the younger generation. But anyway, these are high top. Choose your favorite noun. Got the lock jewelry on there, so definitely time for that. The locks are looking very healthy. They're looking nice and sturdy and thick. And yeah, bro, you got yourself a nice set, so just keep at it. Thanks so much for sending in pictures and giving some background information. I definitely give your locks a 10 out of 10, bro, so keep up the good work, Sean. All right, moving on to the next person, we have Yvette. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. Is it Mies? I feel like there's so many potential pronunciations with that last name. Mies. Let's just go with Yvette. All right, so let me give you a little bit of background with Yvette's locks. So she's had her locks for a year and 7 months, and she gets them interlocked every 2 months. She washes them on her own, and she likes to use a non-sulfate shampoo. For example, she uses a Cantu shampoo or sometimes a coconut shampoo. All right, so she just sent 2 photos, so let's check these out. So the first thing I noticed is that the locks are really thick, which is pretty awesome. I've always kind of wanted really thick locks. Obviously, I noticed that the ends of the locks have either been bleached or dyed. So Yvette, I'm just gonna say, make sure you stand on top of your moisture routine when it comes to those specific locks, especially because, you know, later on down the line, you might have to deal with dryness, brittleness, and then the tips actually breaking off. But I'm sure if you stay on top of it, it'll be all good. But the locks are looking amazing. As I said, I can't get over this thickness. And once again, I love how the locks are sort of staggered, which makes for a fuller look for sure. And that's definitely important when you have large locks, because when you have huge parts, your head can be very scalpy. You guys understand what I mean when I say scalpy? Like you can see a lot of scalp when you have huge parts, but you don't really see much scalp, right? You just kind of see these huge locks, and because they're staggered, the locks are covering places where the scalp actually is. So when these grow out and get even thicker as they mature more, then you're gonna see even less scalp. So these are definitely some awesome locks. Now, something that I found really interesting is that you say that you interlock. It's interesting because when I think of interlocking, I don't think of people having large locks who interlock, right? Usually when I think of interlocking, I think like medium to small, I would say. And so that's something that I feel like is really unique and definitely very interesting about your locks, the fact that you interlock. I wonder, because people say that when you interlock, it makes the locks tighter and, thinner. Not thin, but thinner, because it's more compact. I wonder if you didn't interlock, if they would be even thicker than they are. That's just something I'm curious about. But no, these locks look amazing. I love the size. If I were to start my locks over or start another set, I would definitely go bigger for sure. I have just over 100 locks, even though my locks look really small on camera. But it's because my hair is really fine. So, but no, your locks are looking great, Yvette. And I can see that this is, you have quite the foundation, like when these bad boys get even longer and thicker, can you say envious? So definitely rating these a 10 out of 10, Yvette. Thank you so much for sending pictures and background information. And yeah, keep it up. All right, the third person I'm going to review is Freeman. He's one of my subscribers. And let me give you a little bit of background information on him. So he says that he started off freeform, and he's been going on for about 5 years now. As far as maintenance, during the summertime, I wash my hair once every 2 weeks with shampoo. And during the colder months, I wash every month. All right, so let's take a look at his locks. So I believe this is the earliest picture, and you can see that there is definitely a freeform look to that. And the first thing I'm noticing is that just how thick his locks are, right? Yeah, just super thick. And look at the huge beads. I'm loving the beads, dude, but I'm already getting jealous. Let's see what else you got here. All right, let's see if I can find from oldest to, I think this is probably the next one, chronological order. So the locks are looking definitely more formed for sure, and definitely a little bit longer. Wow, look at that hair. That scalp is just so thick, bro. And I'm sure, the fact that you freeform, I'm sure that has to help. So kudos to you. Wow. All right. Let's go to maybe this one. Oh, this is probably more recent because you got the face covering on. But wow, you can definitely see how full the locks are. And looking off to the left side, it looks like that's a Congo. I think I see maybe 3 to 4 locks together with that Congo. Wow. I like how your locks are kind of split, in the center of your head, and they go symmetrically to either side. It's pretty dope. But yeah, the scalp is just full of hair. And here's another picture where you can definitely see that they've just formed very, very well over time. They're draping down past your shoulders. They look thick. They are thick. They don't just look thick. So yeah, they're just thick. They're draping over your shoulder, and I'm sure you're making a lot of people jealous, bro. And then here, yeah, you just have that classic lock look. I don't know. I feel like you're on that Bob Marley level, for real, real talk. So yeah, your locks are, and then look at who's in the background. I love it. But no, your locks are just super dope. Definitely giving you a 10 out of 10. And I gotta say, like, mad respect to you and for anyone who freeforms, because talk about patience, talk about needing patience, right? Like, for people who have manicure locks like me, like, we see a lot of changes during that first year. I feel like for freeformers, like, a whole year has to pass first before they even really get to notice much change. So that just takes a lot of patience, and I have mad respect for freeformers for sure. All right, moving on to the next person, we have Luis Gabriel, and he says that he started his locks with finger coils. Okay, and initially he did maintenance by retwisting, but now he interlocks because it's more practical, he says. His locks are 1 year and 3 months old. And he said, during this quarantine, I wanted to grow out the sides to have a full set, but I don't know if it'll work. So let's start out. Let's look at this. So he has high top locks, it looks like, right? So that was his fro, it looks like, before he got anything done. And that's a respectable length of hair for sure to have when you're going to start locks. I would do it. All right, and then here are the finger coils, and I can tell he has kind of a finer texture as well, but those coils are definitely in there. His hair is not as fine as Sean's, I would say, which is why he is probably able to get away with doing comb coils. But it's definitely fine for sure. But the comb coils look nice. They're not super small, and they're not super big. Probably a little bit bigger than medium, so that's awesome. All right, and then a little bit later, and thank you so much, Luis, by the way, for putting these in chronological order. It just makes my life so much easier. All right, so yeah, you can definitely tell that there's some length on them. They're frizzier, they're starting to change. If you look from the root going down, you see that it looks like that part is starting to lock up first, and then as you get to the tips, you notice that you can still see the comb coil pattern. So yeah, they're definitely undergoing the locking process for sure, but these are already starting to drape over your eyes, which is a dope look. All right, and then this one, oh, I think this one probably should be before the other one. No worries, Luis. So yeah, this one, yeah, it's a little bit, so it's, I would say it should have come before the other one, because notice the locks aren't hanging down to his eyes yet. And you can see more of the comb coil pattern on each of the locks for more of the length. But yeah, so let me go back a little bit so you can see, okay, comb coil, straight up comb coils, no budding, no locking yet. Then this one, and now you're starting to get some budding. You see where it's kind of fuzzy at, closer towards the scalp. All right. And then this one, where there's budding and locking up starting to occur further down the length of the locks, with less of that comb coil look at the tips. All right, now let's see what's next. All right, so now for sure, wow, bro, definitely these, I mean, just at the tips of only a few, I still see just a little bit of the comb coil. But for the most part, these, I mean, it looks like it's budding now down pretty much the entire length of the lock. So, and they've definitely thickened up quite a bit too. So that looks super dope, bro. Another dope picture. Wow. Yeah. It's interesting because some of these, it almost looks like a two-strand twist look on some of these, but I think that's probably just how your hair decided to mat up, because you started with comb coils for sure. But like those three, you know, off to the, like in front of your face to on the left side of this picture, it almost looks like a two-strand twist pattern. If I didn't know better, I would say it was, but no, you definitely started with comb coils, so it's definitely not. And then even that one that's hanging down in front of your other eye, that's an interesting pattern. I don't know what's going on with that. Did you do something to your locks? Did you braid them or something at any point? Just curious. Either way, budding has definitely occurred for sure down the entire length of the locks. So looking great. And then this one, yeah, just the locks, I mean, they're pretty much locked up. It's a loose lock for sure, but you know, they're definitely locking up. All right, and then this is the most recent photo, and there's that one right there. You can see a little bit of the comb coil pattern, but all of the other surrounding locks definitely seem to, you know, be matting up for sure. That pattern is gone. So your locks look super dope, bro. I love how they're just kind of hanging in front of your face, you know, hanging over your eyes and stuff. So you definitely get a 10 out of 10. I mean, just awesome. And you're only a year and 3 months in right now. Your locks are already looking fire. So definitely keep up the good work. Whatever you're doing is working for you. And yeah, I can't wait to see them when they get even longer. All right, guys, that is it for this video. I know it's over already. Yes, I don't want this video to be too long, but for those of you who have already sent in photos and background information on your locks, I will be doing another video and posting that soon. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you once again to Sean, to Yvette, to Freeman, and to Luis for showing us your awesome locks. Each of you get a 10 out of 10. Keep up the good work. And yeah, this was fun. If you like this video, like it. If you're enjoying this content, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell. And if you think anyone else would want to see this video, then be sure to share it. I will see you guys next time. Peace.